Hello everyone, thank you for watching Sundray SCWA training video. This session we're gonna talk about WLAN troubleshooting. For troubleshooting, we have four parts. First one is the terminals cannot get IP address. Second one is after they get IP address, but no Ethernet. Third one is the APs related issues. Fourth one is the portal page problem. Let's say the all the AP cannot, all the terminal cannot get the IP address. The reason maybe is the uh, configuration about the network deployment. There's controller or the switches ports is not configured properly. For example, there is SSID. They're using the bridge mode and decide the VLAN 10 to the users, but that VLAN 10 is not allowed in the switches port that connect our AP. So that is the reason. That's a possible reason. Second one is VLAN configuration. We configure the raw VLAN for the SSID. For that SS for that V the for example we should assign the VLAN 10, but we assign the VLAN 5 in our SSID configuration. So the user in the VLAN 5 cannot get the IP address, right? Because there's no DHCP servers and also not allowed on the switch. That's because we have the raw configuration in the SSID. Third one is the DHCP configuration. For example, in the tunnel mode, we configure the VLAN correct, but the DHCP server configuration is wrong, or we don't have the DHCP servers. And the first one is the DHCP Snoopy is enabled, but our DHCP server is not added to this trusted DHCP server list because the DHCP Snoopy is to prevent the illegal DHCP servers, right? And for fifth one is the wireless signal is be countered. It's like our APs be activated by the other brand, other devices. So to figure out this one, you can go into the edge security page, and we there have the traffic security, traffic hijack defense, and in the RF security standard, you turn on the spoofing detection, and then you monitor in the security logs, check what they can discover. And for some terminals, they cannot get the IP address. Possible reason is the VLANs, uh, the VLAN identity of that SSID is not correct. For example, you have a SSID, but this SSID is according to the rule by with multiple VLANs. Some VLANs, VLAN 5 is for the floor 1, VLAN 10 is for the floor 10. In the floor 5, you can have the Ethernet, but in the VLAN 10, you don't have Ethernet, so it's possible with the VLAN entities. And also the MAC address is be blacklist or not equally the whitelist. This is easy to understand. And also the terminal maybe be added into blacklist. You can check in the system standards blacklist. And also maybe the terminal is be blacklist by our system. For example, our VIP system, the do the port scanning or IP address scanning, then discovered by our system, so it's be blocked. Five, the fifth one is the we enabled endpoint authentication in our SSID. For this SSID, only the specific terminal type can be connected. And also maybe the terminal reach the traffic quota limitation. And right now it's not allowed to connect according to the policy. So the second one is the station get the IP address but no Ethernet. They also have the two situations that all the terminal cannot go to Ethernet, and second one is only some devices cannot go to the Ethernet. Let's state one by one. First one, for all the terminals cannot go to Ethernet, the possible reason is the controller cannot go to Ethernet. The controller cannot go to Ethernet. Maybe the controller's default IP default route is not be configured. Also, the controller maybe is not allowed to go to internet because of the configuration in the other devices, firewalls, core switches. So we also need to focus on that. We need to pay attention for this possible reason. And also, we haven't enabled ether relay routing in the controllers. And the second one is maybe the subnet that we assign to the terminals is wrong, as it's not allowed to go Ethernet. So we can check if this subnet can go to Ethernet normal. Usually we test, like we use our laptop with a cable connected this switch, this VLAN, check if this can go Ethernet, right? If this wire still cannot go to the Ethernet, that's not possibly it's not because about our sensitive about WLAN. That's maybe there's core switch they haven't added the proper routing, or in the firewall that some routing is being missed. And in the tunnel mode, we need to configure the net. So the net configuration is very important. Third one, in tunnel mode, if you don't need net, you need to make sure you're routing to the next hop, and also in the next hop devices need to configure the return route. In the first one, you need to configure the correct DNS address, and the first one, the upper equipment don't have the deny access control policies for our traffic. For the some devices, you cannot go to the internet, and for example, they have the experience like can open some app, but they cannot use the web browser. The possible reason is the device is not using a proper DNS. Maybe you have manually set a DNS, or their browser has a proxy, and they are using other proxy softwares. This may go to the somewhere else, not the proper go to the internet. So the web page cannot be opened properly. And also for the users, sometimes maybe you configure the rule bandwidth control policies. The speed is super low, like just 1 kb per second. So that for the client, they cannot go to the internet. Other possible reason is from the firewall IAM, not from our APs. The bandwidth is not enough. The capability of this firewall or the other devices is not enough for the network. It's caused the low speed and some users cannot go to internet. So this is also the possible reason. And third one, AP related uses. Uh, it have three types. First one, AP is not online after approved. Third one, the AP cannot be discovered. First one, AP is offline. Uh, the if the We need to check the network configuration if it is correct, and if the IP address of our AP is configured manually, we need to check this IP address is correct and make sure that AP and the controller can do the communication via this IP address, because this is very important, right? We want to this AP online, so we need to have the bi-directional communication between the AP and the controller. So these two devices IP address should be reachable. And also we need to make sure that especially in the remote deployment, in the layer 3 deployment, the AP and the controller in the different subnets, we need to make sure that APs discover IP address for the controllers the same with the controllers uh, uh, primary controller IP address or secondary IP address in the group setting. This one is very important. How do you understand this one? This the we Our AP use the controller IP for discover this IP address to discover IP address. After that, they will build up the control tunnel or data tunnel with this primary controller IP address in the group setting. If your group setting is wrong, so the AP maybe go offline. and also to make sure that the version of the AP and the controller is the same. If it is different, our AP will download the firmware from the controller automatically, but it will take some time, especially in the remote deployment. So we just wait. And second one, the AP cannot be discovered. We need to ensure that if the AP be powered or the net port be normally connected. Sometimes the PoE is not enough. The PoE switch is wrong. It's not the standard PoE switch. Sometimes like we connected the wrong port. They just connected our console port. They cannot connect, cannot be discovered. This is the possible things that usually happen. Second, whether to approve the AP for the first time. If this is the first time, we need to know that the AP in the feed mode doesn't have IP address. We need to get from the DHCP server, or we can use manually configure one. And the AP and the controller need to be in the layer 2 environment, same layer 2 environment. In the layer 2 environment, this that's me in the same VLAN, right? Sometimes we just configure the we just connect the AP and the switch and the controller in the same switch. Maybe they are in a different VLAN. First one is the DHCP option 43. The configuration is not correct. When we configure the option 43, we need to make sure that the address is correct. Um, when we use the troubleshooting tool and we find that we cannot find the AP, the possible reason is that uh, your AP haven't installed VIP cap, or the VIP cap is not be installed properly. Usually we counter this we just install the VIP cap and install it again. Sometimes it will works. And also we need to turn off this the firewall on the laptop, or we use the troubleshooting tool, because we do the scanning. Some firewall will consider our tool as like a virus. It's possible that we're not allowed. And the password to enter the AP's configuration mode is admin by default. If the version is old, like the version 2.4, the password is beyond those one. And the last one, we need to know that the tools the configuration we done by the troubleshoot tool is temporarily. Temporary. This one is very important. For example, you configure IP address, use that tool, right? Use that tool. You configure this IP address of the controllers. Use that tool, and this tool is online. Okay, it's online, and you haven't do any configuration of the controllers. So after that, and you power off the AP, and then you turn on the AP again. The AP will cannot find the controller again, because the configuration inside the tool is temporary. So how we can avoid this one is like use the tool, configure this IP address of controller, and yeah, you find the controller. And then when you approve this AP in the controller, you need to input the controller IP address into that AP. Why we do the approve? So after that, that configuration will be permanent. So uh, briefly, you can say that configuration done by the troubleshoot tool is temporary, and the configuration done by the controller is permanent. And also we need to check if this port or route between the AP and the controller is normal, because we have the right IP address, right? We configure the right IP address of controller to the AP. Right now, the AP still cannot be online, so we need to go into the deeper. We need to think about if the specific port is be blocked. by the network. For example, if you want to this app be online, we need to have the connection of the port 7077, right? Also, we need to when we discover we need to we need to set up the talk between the controller and AP on the port 777 UDP. So this need to be checked if this port is be along during the AP and the controller. And when the AP is offline, mostly it's like the AP's power supply. The cable is too long. The power from this PV switch is too weak, and our AP powered off. And also the usage of the PV ejector sometimes is not properly uh, is not compatible from to our AP. They're not follow the, the PV standards. Is also a possible reason. And the second one is the controller has the restart date. So we need to check the system if this controller is uh, has the restart history. To check this running time. And for the dual machine, we need to check if this HA has the switching, right? To check this one, we can see the syslogs. If there has the changing of the HA, this also can cause the AP go offline. And also we need to check if there's IP conflict from our to our AP. If our AP's IP address is dynamic and now there's some devices use that IP address, our AP may be offline. And also we need to check the controller's interface is working properly. If the controller's interface is down or broken, the AP will also be uh, go offline. And also that check the if there has new policy be added to the firewall between this controller and AP. And the same, maybe the is being managed by the IAM. IAM also can do the policy to block the communication of the specific ports. And sometimes like the bandwidth between the AP and the controller is not enough. So the communication has a delay and the AP go offline, right? And also the flow control devices between the controller and the AP, the ports be blocked by the device. And also the ARP protection and this PP2 guard, this protection enabled in a switch that also can block the talk between the APs. So the AP is not allowed. The switch's port is in the shutdown standards. So our AP go offline. This is possible. The last one is the portal page problem. For the portal page, it's like the portal cannot the portal page failed to pop up. Second one, it cannot automatically pop up. Uh, and the first one, a third one is the portal page doesn't meet the expectation. Let's see it one by one. The terminal connected to the web authentication SSD and it cannot pop up the portal page. For this one, first reason is like you uh, pre-authentication rule is wrong, right? Because when we do the do we configure the pre-authentication rule, usually the secure Wi-Fi. That's me only on DNS. If you configure a default rule to the authentication rule, actually the terminal will not cannot see the portal page anymore. And the second one, the terminal subnets is no internet, because for the portal page to automatically pop up, we need to have the Ethernet to allow the DNS request. If there's no Ethernet, no portal can pop up automatically. Yeah, in the pre-authentication rule, we need to allow the DNS. Second case, if you input the 2.2.1 in the browser, the portal page still cannot be pop up. You need to confirm if this data tunnel port, the port is 7077. If this port is along your network, because this port is be used to for the portal the portal is be forward through these data ports, the 7077. So we can we can, if this port be blocked by the devices between the AP and the controller, we can change these ports from the 7077 to other ports. For the portal page not cannot automatically pop up, we can check the reason, like in if this iOS or Android authentication page is not automatically pop up, this one is enabled. So if this feature is enabled, that when the phone's connected, actually it will not automatically pop up. And also we need to, you can try to change the browser. Some browsers do not support the uh, automatically pop up, so you can manually change the browser, the default browser of this controller of the laptop. And the third one, the possibility is the some websites is already be globally exclude. For example, you when we connect the Wi-Fi, right? It should be have the portal page automatically, but uh, our in our policies we already allow the websites. The website we will try to visit, so it will not redirect our to the portal page. Third one is the portal page pop-up doesn't meet the expectations. Doesn't meet expectations. That's me. We don't want the iOS or Android to have automatically authentication page in wireless. So we need to configure in the authentication, and there's one setting. See, there's the setting. So we need to I check this box if we don't want to see the automatic photo pop up. And the case two is the uh, URL redirection failed. They haven't redirected our to uh, the specific website that want. We need to check the configuration, and also the authentication page is not the page set by our client. So we need to check this customer page, and to check if the photos, if the pictures shows the right. Okay, thank you.